Muhammad Ali, who turned 74 on January 17th, is best known as one of the greatest heavyweights in the history of boxing, but in the spare time, the people's champion enjoyed a pastime rather dissimilar from his athletic pursuits, writing poetry. In 1966, live photographer Gordon Parks spent time with Ali in London. Following his winning bout against Henry Cooper, Ali was fighting abroad due to controversies at home. Many world fans were critical of his involvement with the Nation of Islam and his refusal to serve after being drafted to fight in Vietnam. The Illinois Athletic Commission refused to sanction a fight between him and heavyweight champion Ernie Terrell following statements Ali made saying that the Viet Cong had never shown him any ill will, rather overtly implying that white Americans had. It was a tense time for Ali. Parks aimed to uncover the man behind the showboating and bravado, a man who had been portrayed by the press as anti-white and a traitor to his country. In honor of Ali's birthday, here is a collection of life's greatest portraits of the fighter, from the days when he was known as Cassius Clay to his comeback in the early 1970s. Muhammad Ali was born Cassius Clay Jr. in Louisville, Kentucky. His father was a sign painter and his mother a part-time cook and cleaner for wealthy families. Although they lived in a middle-class black neighborhood, Kentucky law enforced a code of racial segregation that precluded black people from using many of the same public facilities as their white neighbors. The indignities forced on Clay and his family, as well as national outrages such as the racially motivated murder of 14-year-old Emmett Till in 1955, deeply troubled Clay from an early age. When Clay was 12 years old, his parents bought him a bike for his birthday. It was stolen while he was at a local fair. Furious, Clay went to report the theft to a local policeman named Joe Martin. Martin was a boxing instructor as well as an officer. As Clay threatened to find and beat up the thief, Martin suggested he learn how to fight before dishing out threats. Martin became Clay's first trainer. Clay soon won an array of titles on the amateur boxing circuit under Martin's guidance. Muhammad Ali was a fighter all his life, both in and out of the ring. He initially found fame as a champion boxer, celebrated for his unorthodox ring style and witty talk before, during, and after fights. But Ali's charisma and commitment to social and political causes saw him transcend boxing, to become one of the most famous people on the planet. At a time when black people lack basic civil rights in America, discover how Ali became a modern icon. Muhammad Ali, who turned 74 on January 17th, is best known as one of the greatest heavyweights in the history of boxing, but in the spare time, the people's champion enjoyed a pastime rather dissimilar from his athletic pursuits, writing poetry. In 1966, live photographer Gordon Parks spent time with Ali in London. Following his winning bout against Henry Cooper, Ali was fighting abroad due to controversies at home. Many world fans were critical of his involvement with the Nation of Islam and his refusal to serve after being drafted to fight in Vietnam. The Illinois Athletic Commission refused to sanction a fight between him and heavyweight champion Ernie Terrell following statements Ali made saying that the Viet Cong had never shown him any ill will, rather overtly implying that white Americans had. It was a tense time for Ali. Parks aimed to uncover the man behind the showboating and bravado, a man who had been portrayed by the press as anti-white and a traitor to his country. In honor of Ali's birthday, here is a collection of life's greatest portraits of the fighter, from the days when he was known as Cassius Clay to his comeback in the early 1970s. Clay had immense confidence in his speed and agility, often leaving his guard down and leaning back to avoid punches. Clay's showmanship was also evident in early bouts, as he dazzled media and fans with his bravado and predicted the round in which his fights would end. He faced tough opponents, including popular Englishman Henry Cooper, who knocked him down with a powerful left hook, but Clay maintained an unblemished ring record. He would soon prove himself against his toughest opponent yet. Up next was world heavyweight champion Sonny Liston. Liston was the 7-1 betting favorite over Clay. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Ali on his famous style. Clay caused chaos at the Wigan, lunging at Liston and yelling as the press looked on in disbelief. Many wrote him off as a madman, and Liston was confident his power and experience would be enough to defeat the young upstart. But that night, Clay used deft footwork and impressive hand speed to outpace his opponent, inflicting cuts under Liston's eyes. After the 6th round, Liston retired claiming an injured shoulder. Clay had beaten the odds to become heavyweight champion of the world. Speculation about Clay's religious beliefs had been fueled by his relationship with black civil rights leader and Nation of Islam member Malcolm X. After defeating Liston, Clay publicly acknowledged he was a member of the religious movement. In March, he was given the name Muhammad Ali by his spiritual mentor, Elijah Muhammad. Ali accepted the group's controversial doctrine, including a call for apartheid between the races. It made him a pariah in some circles, but, for many, he was a symbol of black pride, refusing to play the role of a compliant Negro in order to gain acceptance from the white establishment. Cassius Clay is a slave name. I didn't choose it and I don't want it. I am Muhammad Ali. In 1964, Cassius Clay shook up the world by defeating Sonny Liston to become world heavyweight champion. Liston's loss was put down to overconfidence, injury, or possible mafia fix. The 1965 rematch, with Clay now going by the name Muhammad Ali, was to prove equally controversial. The bout lasted a mere 100 seconds as Liston fell to an Ali punch delivered with such speed, many at ringside missed it. Accusations swirled that Liston took a dive to satisfy mafia gambling debts, or in response to Nation of Islam threats. Neither was proven, and opinion remained divided over whether it was a fix. Muhammad Ali was a legendary boxer and one of the greats of sporting history. His impact was felt far beyond the confines of the boxing ring. He lost some of the best years of his sporting career after refusing, on principle, to fight for America in the Vietnam War. Beyond the ring, he will be remembered for his belief in social justice and support for black civil rights. Truly a cultural icon, Ali's passion, skill, intelligence and wit gave him a global appeal unmatched by few, if any, other sporting figures, and inspired millions.